the sheer number of prominent business and civic leaders who call the Ashburton community home almost makes you think there's something in the water.
There is definitely something in the water, and it's a part of Baltimore City. African Americans in the early 50s were not allowed to live in certain communities. And so when an opportunity opened up in 1957, we first had an African American principal and his wife move to Ashburton. Then other professionals came moving to Ashburton, and you had great housing stock, great neighborhood, and all these professionals, doctors, lawyers, future politicians.
There are a ton of educated people, well-educated people in this neighborhood, and they always have been.
I mean, the first woman superintendent of schools lived in Ashburton. The first African-American superintendent of schools lived in Ashburton. First elected African-American, Kurt Smoke, lived in Ashburton, still owns a house.
Most of the prominent African-American doctors, lawyers, pastors, all came here, politicians, all lived here. And so that tradition just continues.
Ashburton people are everywhere. There's nowhere that I don't go to as far as in Baltimore City, whether it be to the zoning board or something else going on at a rally or at some carnival. There are going to be people from Ashburton that are going to be there in charge. They're not going to be there just to hang out and eat popcorn. Ashburton people are going to be in charge. So it is in the water to say that, in Ashburton that we happen to, it's a good fertile ground for leadership, because I didn't move to Ashburton to become a politician, but by the time they were done with me, I was in the State House.
Ashburton is a community that has undergone transformations. Initially, Ashburton was a Gentile community.
First, Ashburton was an all-white community, didn't allow Jews to purchase land, and didn't allow blacks to live here. And then during the Depression, whites started selling homes to the Jewish community, and so Jews started moving into Ashburton. Then you had white flight from Jews, and then in the 50s you had Jewish flight from blacks.
A few years ago, maybe it was about 6-8 years ago, a Jewish reunion in Ashburton. It was a very joyful time, and it was open arms, and they visited a number of homes and families.
I thought it would be neat if we had them come back to Ashburton, and we did that, and we had a marvelous time walking throughout the neighborhood. People were able to see their own homes and see, more importantly, that the neighborhood did not go down.
Best words to describe Ashburton are friendly, family, quaint, peaceful. It's a very peaceful neighborhood, and that's one of the big reasons why my wife and I decided to move here.
My husband and I, we moved to Ashburton actually mid-July. We settled on our property at the beginning of June, and after a little bit of construction was done, we were able to take residence mid-July. We moved to Baltimore City because I am attending University of Maryland or Baltimore Law School. In the fall, I'll be a first-year student, and we wanted something closer to the city. This home was on our list of homes to view, and we fell in love with the property, the scenery, the trees, the mature trees, and so we were really excited to actually move to the neighborhood after doing some research. We loved the sense of community and the quietness of the area. We felt that it was going to be a safe place for us to raise our family, that it was going to be a nice, quiet place for us, and that we would really enjoy living here.
I've stayed in Ashburton 44 years because I'm comfortable, I'm familiar, I have relationships here, and basically they're supportive. They support me and I support them. That's very important.
Many of the neighbors have stopped by and offered if there was anything that we needed or that we could, that they could help us with as new residents. So it's just been a real warm and inviting, welcoming feeling that we've gotten from all of the neighbors.
What's important to the residents of Ashburton is to live in a community that is actually a community. When we talk about community and how we support community and how we engage our neighbors to keep the community feeling going, is to have something like our block party that's been going on for 10 to 15 years plus.
The Ashburton Block Party has attained a reputation of its own. It's a yearly event that everyone looks forward to. It's a time for the children to come out. We have ponies and horses for them to ride on. Not only children, but our adults ride on our horses. We have the moon bounce. We have food. Persons bring out their favorite dishes to share. We have vendors. And it's a camaraderie. It's a time to get together, to meet and greet.
It's more of a homecoming that people from Ashburton enjoy one another's company, and reminds them, and people tell all these wonderful stories about growing up in Ashburton.
The annual block party every year is a great time for families to come together, to get to meet each other. Every year I meet somebody new at the block party, a new family, new children to play with my children. It's a great time, and it's a great tradition that I'm glad the association continues to keep up and uphold throughout the years.
Well, my history in this community dates back to when I was a child.
We are just an open community which trying to work and get our families the best we can.
There's a little stamp of each individual person who's lived here.
To put your feet where so many before you have walked.
That kind of thing sends chills up your spine.
Watch My Town, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. on CharmTV.
Well, when I moved to Ashburton back in 1994, I was one of the youngest. I mean, I was 29 years old, just purchasing a house, just getting married, and the elders helped to support me because I was just starting out. And so giving me guidance on, how to properly take care of my azalea bushes, or how to, use certain types of contractors and things like that.
Elders have an open embrace of life. Children need to be connected to joy and beauty and love, especially in themselves.
Elders kind of give you the look into the future and looking and also looking in the past at the same time.
They connect. Most importantly, they help our young people be connected to who they are, to the process of life. We are not without problems. We're dealing with holding on to homes, the dire economics in certain situations, and we're concerned with crime. We're constantly told that Ashburton has much less crime than other communities, but we don't appreciate one burglary.
Well, some of the challenge that we have in Ashburton is that we have really good housing in a great neighborhood, and it has all the amenities that people would want, except for the most important amenity if you're a young family is a school within your community that is highly regarded.
I think the biggest misconception about living in the city is that it's so much more money to live in the city, and it's not. And people really need to look at their water bills, they need to look at their electric bills, they need to look at all these other things and really do a tally. And they say, hey man, my property taxes are so high, but all these other jurisdictions add on fees to other services, right? And that's what makes Baltimore City seem like it's so expensive. All those services are included in Baltimore City's taxes. And that's what people don't get. I wish people would really take the time to learn and understand.
What other neighborhoods could learn from Ashburton is that whenever you have a problem, the window pane approach, whenever there's a broken window, you got to get that fixed. And so the thing is, in Ashburton, we've been historically known down at City Hall to be a neighborhood that wouldn't tolerate abandoned houses. We wouldn't tolerate high grass and weeds and things like that. And so sometimes you've got to be a little tough on people to do the right thing. And so I would say in Baltimore City, there's so many neighborhoods that could be so much more if the leadership in that neighborhood would actually be a little stricter when it came to people, not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
When I look at the future of Ashburton, I see progress. I see developmental opportunities for our youth, developmental opportunities for our elders in terms of staying in Ashburton. You don't have to leave, you don't have to age out, you can stay here.
I see a lot of newer, younger families coming. I see with that an improvement of the local schools. I see our footprint expanding to other neighborhoods, helping to bring those neighborhoods to a different level. And I see a great future for the neighborhood, so I look forward to it.
As far as in the future in Ashburton, I see a neighborhood that will continue to be very diverse as far as young people, middle-aged people, and seniors. I do see it becoming more diversified when it comes to more people of different shades and hues and different faith backgrounds moving into Ashburton, and it'll make us even better.
When I look to my family's future and my future here in Ashburton, I see a long, happy life.
For more information on Baltimore neighborhoods and full episodes of My Town, go to www.charmtv.tv.